Welcome to my class. In this particular video lecture, we will talk about computing model and our focus will be on client-server architecture. There are two types of computing models. The first one is traditional model. The second one is modern model. In the traditional model, we have three categories: mainframe architecture, PC architecture, and file server architecture. In the modern model, we have four categories: client server computing, cluster computing, grid computing, and cloud computing. When we talk about this cluster computing is quite old, but we see that it is being used even nowadays, and sometimes we make a comparison of cluster computing with grid computing. That is why we have kept it in the category of modern model. In this particular video session, we will talk about client-server computing. Client-server computing models. When we talk of the traditional models, in mainframe architecture, the complete storage and processing is with the mainframe computer. In the PC architecture, storage and processing is with PC only and no sharing at all, as it is independent computing. In the case of file sharing architecture, all storage is with mainframe computer and all processing is with PC. The limitations of file sharing computing led to the development of client-server architecture. Let's move on to client-server architecture. Meaning of client and server. A client is a computer that makes a request and makes use of data, service, or access to resources provided by a server. A server is a computer that provides data, services, or access to its resources to client computer, most often to multiple clients simultaneously. So client is a computer which makes a request to the server to provide some data or services. Server is a computer which provides data or services to the client computer. A simple definition of client-server computing is that a server software accepts requests for data from client software and returns the result to the client. It means we have two types of software. Client software makes a request and the server software fulfills the request. It is something like this. The client computer makes a request to the server and the server computer gives the response back. Again, client computer makes a request to the server. Server computer gives a response to the client computer. So all client computer makes requests to the server and server fulfills those requests of the client computers. In simple terms, we call it, this is client-server architecture. It is client-server design. It is client-server computing model. Client-server technology intelligently divides the processing work between the server and the client. Some jobs shall be performed by server and some jobs will be performed by client. Some storage will be done by server and some storage will be done by client. The server only sends those records to the client that are needed to satisfy the information request. Therefore, the network traffic is significantly reduced as complete file is not supplied. It resulted into fast, secure, reliable, efficient, inexpensive, and easy to use system. The server handles all the global tasks while the client handles all the local tasks. We will talk about this global task and local task in the latter part of this video. In general, client-server computing model is used in banks, retail stores, for marketing and sales, and aviation companies, etc. In general, the software used in client-server computing models are, that is ERP. In general, the software used in client-server computing model are finance, manufacturing ERP, supply chain ERP, CRM, HRM ERP, procurement ERP, etc. Origin of client-server computing. Client-server architecture introduced a database server to replace the file servers. The client computer will make a request to server and server fulfills that request of the client computer. It reduced network traffic by providing a query response rather than total file transfer, as it was in the case of traditional file architecture. Using RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, user's query could be answered directly. In client-server architecture, SQL statements, structured query language statements, are typically used to communicate between the client and the server. The origin of client-server architecture can be divided into three generations. The first generation of client-server technology began to emerge in the mid-1980s. In the first generation, in general, application software was an in-house program used to connect the client and database server. In the second generation of client-server technology that began in 1990s, it was founded on the development of actual client-server applications like integrated enterprise application suites. Integrated enterprise application suites means number of programs are put together. For example, production, marketing, finance, HRM, inventory, R&D. Number of programs are put together. Then this is termed as suites. So in the second generation of client-server technology, number of suites came to the market in which applications were made to solve production problem, marketing problems, finance, HR, and so on. Number of ERP came into the market. The components of this ERP was financials component, supply chain management, procurement or purchase, CRM, human resource, data warehousing, and so on. Look at this particular case. One ERP software is installed on the big server. Let's make a simple model and see that ERP software is installed, enterprise resource planning software is installed on the server. This is production department's network. This is marketing department network. This is finance department network. And now we have HRM department network. All these networks of different departments are connected to the server on which we have ERP. It means marketing department asks certain queries to server. Server provides the required answer to the marketing department. All queries of marketing department are fulfilled by supplying the required information by the server. And this is with every department. The production department wants to know some information about marketing department. The ERP installed on the server will fetch this information from marketing department and send it to the production department. The third generation of client-server technology is one marked by decentralization to address problem in security and information storage management. let's have an example of third generation client server technology. In order to understand the functioning of third generation of client server technology, which mark decentralization to address the problem in security and information storage management, we will take up one example of Indian Railways. Here we will talk about distributed data processing, and we will take up the example of Delhi railway station. Now let's start with that. Throughout India, for the sake of simplicity, we have taken 4 different stations. One at Delhi, second at Kolkata, the third one at Chennai, and the fourth one at Gujarat, Jamnagar. We have 4 main servers at these 4 places. We interconnected these 4 servers to each other, and we named these 4 servers as global servers. Along with the global servers at these 4 places, we have certain local servers. Local server deals only with the request relating to Delhi railway station, whereas the global server can attend to the request of other railway stations also. These local servers are connected to their respective global servers. Now let us move on to the Delhi railway station. There are a number of PCs which are connected to local server. Now a particular passenger wants to book a ticket from Delhi to Gujarat, then that particular ticket shall be booked by the local server. But if a particular passenger wants to get a ticket booked from Kolkata to Chennai, then this job will be performed by local server will make a request to Delhi global server. Delhi global server will make a request to Kolkata global server. In this way, ticket reservation is completed. And this is a case of distributed data processing. Certain tasks are being performed by local servers and certain tasks are being performed by global servers. All the local requests are fulfilled at the local server level, but if the request is beyond the local server, that is, if the request is not relating to Delhi, if this request is relating to some other place, then the local server will transfer that request to Delhi global server. In this way, the reservation takes place and the local server works with global servers. This distributed data processing is on the base of client-server architecture. Let's again come back to client-server technology. Client-server refers to computing technologies in which the hardware and software component, that is client and server, are distributed across a network. All the client computers are connected to database server. The client-server software architecture is versatile and it is message based. You can see it here that one particular client computer is sending message to the server. Server respond back. All the client devices are communicating with server. This is modular infrastructure. We will talk about modular infrastructure also. Client-server software architecture is versatile. It is message-based. It is modular infrastructure that is intended to improve usability, flexibility, and scalability as compared to centralized mainframe time-sharing computing. Let us try to understand the meaning of modular infrastructure and scalability. Here you can see that this is message-based. Client sends the message to the server and client gets the reply from the server. The use of LANs has made the client-server model even more attractive to organizations. Now let us look at the modular infrastructure. This is a two-layer design. We have client computers and we have server computer. This we call it two-layer or two-tier architecture, two-layer design. In case we want to have more than two layer like this, we have client computers, we have business logic computers, and we have database computers, that is servers. Now this becomes three-tier, three-layer architecture. We call this thing as modular infrastructure. The next one is scalability. Let's try to understand the meaning of scalability with the help of this example. Here you can see that one server and number of client computers. If there is too much load on the server, then we can have one more server attached to the existing server. Then this particular design becomes scalable. So you have seen it that client server software architecture is versatile. It is message based, we talk about it. It is modular infrastructure. We also discussed this particular point, that is intended to improve usability, flexibility and scalability. Here you have seen the example of scalability. So what we can do in client server architecture is, it is quite versatile. It is message based. It is modular infrastructure and it is scalable. This is distributed also as compared to centralized mainframe time sharing computing. Now what are the characteristics of client server technology? Client server technology consists of client processes and a server process that can be distinguished from each other. Client makes a request and the server fulfills the request. The client portion and server portion can operate on separate computer platform. Separate computer platform means on separate hardware and software. Either the client platform or the server platform can be upgraded without having to upgrade the other platform. So if there is a need, we can improve the hardware or software part of the server without improving the hardware or software part of the client machine. The server is able to service multiple clients concurrently. Concurrently means happening at the same time. If number of client makes a request to the server, then the server can respond back instantly by providing them the required information. In some client server system, client can access multiple servers. So the software is that which allows to access information from multiple servers. Client server system includes some sort of networking capability. Without networking capability, it is not possible to have client server design. A significant portion of the application logic resides at the client end. A user-friendly GUI, graphic user interface, generally resides at the client end. Action is usually initiated at the client end and not the server end. It is the client which sends the message that it requires some information from the server. SQL capabilities characteristics of the majority of client server system. SQL refers to structured query language. The client system makes certain queries in structured format to the server, and we call this thing as SQL capability. The last point is the database should provide data protection and security. The database is on the server and there must be some provision for the protection of data, for the security of data. Thank you very much.